Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thanks for being here, joining me live. I'm Lauren Lefkowitz, executive coach, and I am so happy to be here. Welcome to Mindset Shifts and the What Ifs, a weekly show where I spin a wheel to determine our topic, and then we find out what we're going to talk about, and we talk about it for a little while. I am live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, and I'm also live on Instagram, but on Instagram, you won't be able to see my shared screen. I will tell you what topic comes up. So let's get right to it and choose our topic for tonight. And hopefully my video is coming through all right, because on my end, my connection's been a little bit wonky all day. So fingers crossed. Let's see how we do here with our wheel. All right, here we go. What will our topic be? What should I actually be paid? Oof, that's a great topic. What should I actually be paid? Our topic of conversation tonight, and such a great topic because money is such an ugly sort of secret topic in the world, and it's in like every country of people that I've talked to who don't have like very strict laws that outline that you have to say exactly what the pay will be. It's very weird, and it shouldn't be. And I, for years, felt very weird about money, very weird about talking about money, about thinking about money, about asking for money. And now I work with, with clients, and I have been in HR for many years. And I, prior to leaving to start my coaching business full time, I've had so much insight into these icky conversations and why they feel icky and how they feel icky. And it turns out, y'all, that everybody feels icky talking about money all the time. I don't feel as icky about it anymore. I used to feel like real gross about having the conversation about money. And now I've gotten comfortable with it. Part of that was through practice. Part of that has been through working on my money mindset in a very intentional way. And part of it is still work to be done. And so when you're thinking about how much your monetary value is for a company, we often think in terms of, I make this much now, and if I'm going to go somewhere else, I want an X percent raise. So if you're sitting in your looking at your paycheck and you're calculating it, and you say, okay, I make $80,000 a year. If I go somewhere else, I'm not going somewhere for less than $90,000. So that's a probably 12 or 13% increase, without me trying to do math in my head, which will just have us sitting silently for a little while I find a calculator. But there's sort of this sense that like the higher you go up, the bigger your pay increase should be wherever you go next. And somewhere along the way, we've made up that that's true. We lose confidence in our skills, especially if we've been in a toxic workplace or we've been laid off. And we start not only going after jobs that are going to end up netting us the same amount of money, but we also go for jobs that net us less money. And we don't do it on purpose. And I'm speaking especially to women, not because this doesn't ever happen to men, but because it happens more frequently to women and non-binary folks and trans folks and gay folks and Black folks and brown folks, and put yourself in a group. If you're not a white male, this is more likely to happen to you. And also, some of it is compatible. So one thing that is compatible is find out what the jobs you're applying to are worth. Now, this is getting easier in some states. California, Colorado, New York, a few other states have laws that the salary range must be posted. Some companies are gaming this, and they're putting salary ranges from like, $40,000 to $400,000, depending on experience. So that's not super helpful, but companies are starting to get on on board with posting salaries a little bit more. While the job that you will be applying to may not have the salary posted, if you look at similar jobs that do, start tracking what jobs you're looking at are paying, right? So if you see jobs that are paying, let's say you're looking at a director of customer experience, right? Let's say that pays $120,000 at one company that's like 500 employees. It pays $180,000 at a company that's 2,000 employees. And so you just track that stuff. How big is the company? What is the salary? What is the title? So that you can start getting like a map for yourself. And you can even, if you're fancy, you can even like plug it into a chart, like a, my brain's not remembering the name of it, but you know, one of those plot dot charts, you can plug it in there and you can see like where it all falls, right? So you can start seeing for the jobs that do have salaries listed, you can start seeing what is available. And that will give you an idea of what you could, should, would be looking at for whatever your next job is. You don't want to base the salary you're looking for on your last job because you don't know that that's any kind of accurate. You don't know that you've been developing skills and abilities and experience while you've been in this job, whatever job you're in or whatever job you were in last. And people get the smallest raises when they're in the same company. So if you base what you want next on what you've had and you've been in your company for 10 years or 15 years, you're already underselling yourself. Another way to find out what your job is worth, what your experience is worth, is to go to sites like salary.com. Do not go to glassdoor.com for salary. They just like make stuff up. I used to post jobs and I would post the salary and Glassdoor would make an estimate that an $85,000 job had a range from $32,000 to $108,000. And they just guessed it. And I tried to fix it with them and they just make up their own stuff. So, so don't go to glassdoor.com to look at salaries. Do go to look at reviews, and that's a whole other topic as to how seriously you should take those reviews. But you want to go to places like salary.com, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, I think it is, which is a government agency that tracks census data on specifically on salaries that are paid. It's a little bit harder to navigate and read through, but you can get some information through those. And ask people you know who are recruiters, especially if they're working for recruiting agencies. Ask them what they see for a job like yours. So once you get an idea of what you're looking for salary-wise, then as you're applying to jobs and as you're talking to recruiters, the next sort of level of the game, right? You've passed level 1 and you jumped over all the things you had to jump over and you slid under all the things you had to slide under and you collected all the gold coins. And now you know how much you should be paid for what you do. The next game is to not be the one to say salary numbers first, if you can avoid it. Sometimes you can't avoid it. Sometimes you are filling out an online application. It's a required field. The field is a numeric only field. And like, you just gotta kind of guess. You can put in a pretty wide range if they're asking you for a range. What is the salary range you're looking for? And they have like a low end and a high end. You can go as wide as you want. And if they call you and they say, hey, we're confused that you put the salary you were looking for was between 150,000 and 500,000. That's like a really wide range. Was that a mistake? Then your answer is, well, no, I'd really like to know what you have budgeted for this position because, a director of X, Y, and Z really can pay a wide variety, and it depends on how many direct reports and what the level of the job is and where it reports into and how much responsibility there is, how much collaboration across departments. So I'd love to hear what the salary range is so that I can better determine where my range is. If you can avoid giving a salary range, you want to. It's a stupid game. It's a game that nobody should have to play. We should all just be able to be transparent with each other. Say, I want $300,000 for this job, and have them say, well, this job pays $280,000. Will you settle for that if it's the right job? And then you get to say, yeah, will you give me a signing bonus if I sign on, right? Like, seems like such a simple conversation. It does not seem like it should be that difficult to have, but we all have difficulty with it. And we have to learn to negotiate for ourselves. How many times have you been in a situation, and I can raise my hand to this, for years I did this, where I would fight almost to the death for somebody else for their salary. And I was in HR, so it was my job to look out for equity and to look out for rewarding high performers. And then I would look at my own and sort of whisper like, hey, can I have a raise too? Right? You have to come over that hump for yourself, and you have to fight for yourself the way that you would fight for somebody else who also deserved to earn a certain amount of money. So you're going to determine what your monetary value is. You're going to determine what the jobs you're looking at pay in some sort of range. You're going to decide what your minimum is. And this is a little game you can play with yourself. You can say to yourself out loud, would I accept a job that pays $70,000? And like, listen to how your body feels and your brain feels when you say yes. Are you lying to yourself, or would you accept a job that's $70,000? And if you say no, okay. Would you accept a job that's $80,000? Work your way up until you actually feel like, yeah, I would accept a job for $140,000, whatever it is. I'm making numbers up. Your comfort level with what salary you're looking for is going to be different from mine, is going to be different from the next person's, because we all value the balance of money and job and people we work with, and balance, like, we all balance that differently. Our special blend of what makes us excited about work is different for everybody. What you do want, though, is equity. You don't want to come in having lowballed yourself and having talked yourself out of asking for the amount of money that you deserve and that you can earn, and coming in and saying like, oh, I'll just take whatever you offer. And then feeling like you lost by getting a job. Getting a new job should feel really good. It should feel good from a financial perspective. It should feel good from the job you want to be doing perspective. And I know I'm speaking in ideals right now, right? There are times when you've been laid off or you had to leave a toxic environment when you need a job right now, and that's okay. But when you're looking for a job from a place where you feel comfortable enough looking for a job that you can really ask for what you want, then you should be asking for what you want and deserve. So it's going to be a short one tonight. And if you ever want to talk about how to ask for salary and how to determine salary, it's really all part of getting coached, of being a high achieving human who doesn't know the answers to all of the questions for yourself, who may be able to help other people do things, and then turns on yourself and says, I don't deserve it. I don't need it. Nobody's going to give it to me. And that's where the coaching piece can really come in. But if you want to have a conversation about what salary to ask for, how to determine your salary, and if you've joined us late, go back and watch this, see what you find, and let me know what you found and how I can help you solidify that. Thanks so much for being here. Sorry, it's a short one tonight. You know, some nights are just exhausting, and I've had a really long day, and I am looking forward to having a quiet, relaxing night, probably with Netflix and maybe a little bit of ice cream, and going to bed early. So have a great night. Thanks again for being here, and I will see you next Tuesday for a new topic. Bye.